Hey, it's Jim with CGC Sports Illustrated. I get asked this question all the time. What are you buying? What are you collecting? What have you gotten in recently? So I thought I'd do a video about it and talk a little bit about it. These might not be the most collectible issues. These are issues that, I just kind of find interesting. Let's start with this one. Now, this one's super collectible. Anything with Michael Jordan on it always is. But I love this one. This is Magic and Michael from June 10th, 1991. This is Jordan's first NBA Finals against the Lakers. I've said this many times before. I love it when you can get, multiple Hall of Famers on a cover. Magic and Michael, it's as good as it gets. This is a great issue. Really tough to find in a high grade. There are two 9.4s, and those are the highest graded copies out there. And here's why, and I'm going to zoom in here. So hopefully you can see this. And I don't want to take it out of the bag, but I've talked about this before. This purple strip right here, that's actually like the second or third page. That's not part of the cover. The cover's actually a little bit smaller. And Sports Illustrated did this a lot so that they could sell like this tri-fold advertising insert sort of thing. So, but what that does is it makes this very vulnerable to this line right here because there's a crease there. The ink flakes off a lot, and you're going to get dinged from that at CGC, and you can see that I've got that on this issue right here. So really tough to find in a high grade, and one I just absolutely love. This one, crazy rare. This is Roger Clemens' first Sports Illustrated cover. This is from May 12th, 1986. I love this cover. I always think of Roger Clemens as a Boston Red Sox. Even though he played for a ton of other teams, I just always think of him as a member of the Red Sox. Love this cover. Roger Clemens' first cover. Love that headline, Lord of the K's. Glad I found one of those recently. This cover, easily one of my top 10 all-time favorite Sports Illustrated covers. This is February 18th, 1991. The Dream Team. What I say earlier about, multiple Hall of Famers on the cover. You got 5 of them right here. Jordan and Magic and Karl Malone and Ewing and Barkley. Everybody's got fond memories of that amazing, team from the 92 Olympics, and love that Sports Illustrated cover. Derek Jeter, first Sports Illustrated cover. He's been retired for a few years now, but he's still front and center in minds of a lot of collectors. And this is his first Sports Illustrated cover from October 21st, 1996. Holy cow headline. Love him making that throw. That's a great looking cover. I do have some vintage issues coming up too. Let's talk about this one. Super hard to find. So this is Kobe Bryant's first Slam magazine cover. This is from February 1997. Marcus Camby rather, and Antoine Walker on the cover with him. But, Kobe's the star there. Ready or Not, NBA rookies set to blow up. Love that headline. There is one 9.8 in existence, which is amazing because, again, if you can see, the cover is smaller than the rest of the magazine. It's got a trifold. You get that color flake along that crease right there. But there is one out there at 9.8. Then the next highest graded is 8.5. So really rare cover, really tough to find, and I'm loving everything with Kobe right now. This is a sport magazine. So I'm not a huge sport magazine collector. I think it's always going to be, viewed as, Sports Illustrated's little brother. The photography on the cover, it doesn't even compare to what Sports Illustrated did. But I do own a number of them, and I love this one. This is Louise Cinder. This is from May 1971. I'm always fascinated by like 70s haircuts and 80s haircuts on these stars in this one. And that may be why I love this cover. I'm going to try and zoom in here. Those are all-time mutton chops there on Lou. I love this shot and love this cover of Louise Cinder from 71. Great issue. I was very fortunate to come into some vintage issues from 54 and 55 for Sports Illustrated. This is Willie May's first cover. Also Leo DeRocher's first cover. This is April 11th, 1955. What I particularly like about this issue is this white banner piece. This is actually technically not part of the cover. This is a flap that you can lift up. And what frequently happened is people did that, and that weakened the glue that this white part was stuck to the cover on, and they frequently fell off and got lost over the years. I was able to find one with that white flap on it. So I was really happy to get one. Just kind of makes this issue more rare. Despite the fact that this issue is almost 70 years old, there is a 9.8. That's freaking amazing that there could be a 9.8 from an issue that's 70 years old, but there is one of those out there. This one, not anywhere near that, but I've never owned this cover before and had to have it. This is probably more like a 7.5, and a fun one. So this is something that Sports Illustrated used to do a lot in the first couple of years they were out, and I think it's really cool. And it's that ultra tight close-up of the athlete's face. They did it a little bit in modern times. I'm thinking like Aaron Rodgers' first Sports Illustrated cover from 2009. They did the same thing, but they did this a lot back then. This is Yogi Berra's first Sports Illustrated cover from July 11th, 1955. I do own a number of copies of this. In fact, I got one at CGC right now that should grade in the high 9s. I'm floored that I found it. It's in incredible condition. This one, not nearly as strong, but first cover, Yogi Berra, 1955. I love this picture with him and wearing that catcher's mask, that old school catcher's mask. Just looks great. That's a fun cover. Love it. Okay, so I'm wrapping up with a couple of what I think are underrated covers. This may be the single most underrated cover in our entire hobby, and let's talk about why. Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan. This is Kobe Bryant's second Sports Illustrated cover. This is from May 31st, 1999. I talk about how, if you can't get that first cover, the second one, because it's too expensive, the second one becomes, much more collectible. I feel that's true in sports cards. It's true in Sports Illustrated. So this is Kobe's second cover. This is Tim Duncan's first cover. I mean, this is a hugely underrated issue in our hobby. Tim Duncan is one of the 50 greatest NBA players of all time. He's a Hall of Famer and all-time great. I get that he played in San Antonio, which is a smaller market, doesn't have huge national appeal. He was a quiet guy, nothing flashy about him. But it's Tim Duncan and his first Sports Illustrated cover, and it's Kobe Bryant and his second Sports Illustrated cover. It's a game action shot. You can see both of them, the number 8, the number 21, substance over style. Just a great, great cover, and I think it is massively underrated. There is one 9.8 out there in this issue, and this one won't be a 9.8, but a good one. I've said this before. It sounds stupid when I say it, but I still think it's true. I think Tom Brady's underrated in this hobby. Sure, his Sports Illustrated presents the collector's edition Tom Brady Amazing cover. That's collectible. His first Sports Illustrated with the natural headline, that's certainly collectible. But man, this guy's the greatest of all time in the NFL. I think anything, even Tom Brady modern issues at a 9.4 or higher, are super collectible and super underrated right now. This is his cover from January 2017. This is right before the Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons, where the Patriots were down 28-3 and came back and won the Super Bowl. You got Matt Ryan on the cover there with him. I've become an even bigger Brady fan the last couple of years, and I think he's underrated in this hobby. And even the very recent Tom Brady covers, I'm a huge fan of. And I like this one with Matt Ryan on the cover because of the story that happened during that Super Bowl and the Patriots being down and coming back from 28-3 and shootout, Brady versus Ryan on the cover. I mean, that's exactly what that Super Bowl was. It turned into a shootout, and it was amazing. So that's what I've gotten recently. Those are some issues I think are cool and I'm collecting. Hopefully you think that's the case. Please ask questions or tell me which ones you think are interesting and that you're collecting and buying raw right now. Follow me on social media, subscribe to my podcast, subscribe to YouTube. You guys know the drill. I hope you found this interesting, and I'll do another one of these again soon. Thanks.